Good afternoon. My name is Brad Lincoln, and today I want to speak to you about something I feel is one of the most important things any of us will ever do, and it's regarding our right to vote. In 2004, I joined the Army, and in 2005, I was deployed to Iraq with the 101st Airborne Division. Arguably, one of the most important dates of that deployment, and the one that correlates most to this topic, was December 15th of 2005. On this day, the Iraqi citizens, for the first time since 1979, were allowed to voice their opinions by electing a permanent council of representatives. A statistic that I feel is incredible that came from that election was the fact that between 70 to 80% of all registered Iraqi voters voted. Something even more incredible when taken into consideration is the fact that in the January 30th, 2005 election for an interim government, the voters were subjected to an onslaught of suicide bombers and nearly 100 other armed attacks. 44 people were killed at polling sites that day. Even with this on their minds, 70 to 80% of Iraqi citizens braved the possibility of being killed just to go vote. Why? It's because they understood exactly what it was like to not have that right. They knew what it was like to be silenced by fear of torture and murder. This was their first opportunity in nearly 30 years to help decide the direction of their country. Now, I want to share another percentage with you. 56.8%. 56.8 is the percentage of eligible U.S. voters that voted in the most recent election. Barely over half. What does this say about us as a country? I, for one, believe this says that we, as a general population, are forgetting what this most basic of rights means. We're forgetting all of the battles we have fought in both war zones and courtrooms to retain this right. I often use the analogy, our rights are like the muscles in our body. If we don't exercise them, they'll simply disappear. I'm a firm believer in this. I like to point out another benefit of voting. Our elected officials know exactly who votes, whether it's an age group, sex, race, or other demographic. Those elected officials typically want to be re-elected. Considering this, those same officials are more inclined to please those voters, therefore devote more of their resources to them to be re-elected. In short, communities that convey an interest will receive as well. George Santayana stated, "Those who cannot remember the past are condemned to repeat it." So remember, voting is a right and it has to be used. I don't care about your political affiliation, and I'm not only speaking about presidential elections. Oftentimes, local and state elections are going to affect you more directly, and history shows they receive even a smaller voter turnout. With all said, I challenge you to go vote. I challenge you to educate yourself on policies and politicians of all levels of government. Armed with knowledge and the given right to vote, you literally hold the key to our future.